We're good? Okay. So I know who you are,
Yep.
but go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Jim Ohnstad, better known as Mr. OK. I've been here so long. The other day I was up at Social Security with my wife trying to get something straightened out. And the guy looked at the screen and he looked at me and he kind of had a puzzled look on his face. You've worked at the same place for 60 years? In one place? And I said, yes, I did. Pretty unusual. But my dad owned this place, so that's why I have so many years there.
Right. Yeah, that's an impressive feat. That's not something that you see every day.
Normally you hear 35, 40 years
Yeah.
for most people in one place. But
So can you kind of go back and let's just start from the beginning. You know, your dad owned the shop there, and just kind of give us the story. Give us the whole story.
oh boy, 60 years worth of.
Yeah, let's go.
Have you got a couple days?
we have a lot of time booked off for this, so.
Well, my dad, and I use my dad and I use John interchangeably because at work I always called him John. I don't know, it felt unusual, I guess, to be the boss's son and
Yeah.
calling him Dad. But Dad bought this store. Well, let me start before that because you need a little history of John to understand how he went to business.
Absolutely.
He got out of the war, went to Hanson Mechanical Trade School to learn the profession of auto body repair. So he went to work at Ed Shum Pontiac, which that building is now Fargo Linoleum on Robert Street.
Okay.
Well, Ed Shum tried to run the business from Florida. That's where he liked to go in the winter. General Motors wasn't getting paid or something. They came and locked the place up on Christmas Eve.
Oh, no.
Gave everybody their pink slip. Well, my dad was pretty well put out on that note, but they let him come back for the next 2 weeks and finish up the car repairs that were in the shop so that people could get their car back. Then he went to work for Berkey Lincoln Mercury, which was on 10th Street. I think Park Realty owns that building now.
Okay.
And I started out in the body shop, but body business is kind of tough on you. You do a lot of hand sanding back then with files, and his ribs would get sore. So he decided that maybe car sales was better. So he started out in used car sales, eventually worked up to new car sales. The commission for a Lincoln was $100. A Mercury was $50.
And what year was that?
This would be 1958.
All right.
57, 58. And Edsel's were $25. He didn't sell too many Edsels. But rather than stick around the showroom and wait for people to come in, he liked to sell Lincolns because that was the $100 commission. So he would go out to these farms and take a farmer and his wife for a test drive and get them interested in a Lincoln.
Okay.
Now, he was very successful at it. So one day he's out in Jamestown. The farmer and his wife said, oh, they'll take it. It was on Friday, and John said, well, my Saturday day off is Saturday this week. Do you want to come in? I'll make a special trip in and get everything done for you. No, they said, we'll come in on Monday. Well, the next morning they got up, had breakfast, thought about it. Well, maybe we should go get the car. They got excited about it. So they came in, and John wasn't there. Another salesman helped him out, got it all taken care of. John walked in on Monday morning. They turn in call cards on every prospective buyer. And Walt, the sales manager, wanted to split the commission between my dad and the guy that helped the farm couple out. He didn't like that response at all. He said, I turned my call card in. That sale is mine. And Walt kind of argued about it. And John said, well, if you split the commission take that as my 2-week notice. And Walt did not split the commission, and so my dad quit 2 weeks later and went to work for OK Tire. Now, the two gentlemen that owned OK Tire, Russ Tweeden and Dick Currier. You might have heard the name Currier before. His two kids, Dave and Danny, started Dakota Fence.
Okay.
But Dick didn't like the tire business all that well, so my dad bought his half of the business for $1,500. And Russ Tweeden didn't care for the tire business either. He liked to come to work at 9 and go home at 3.
Okay.
Well, my dad kind of made the proposal to him. He said, why don't I buy your half out also? And Russ became a very successful insurance salesman.
Okay.
But then John, in 1960, incorporated OK Tire, and him and Mom were the sole owners.